Today we're at York Minster on a rainy day with Dominic Barrington, the Dean. And Dominic is the one person who's most expert in the entire world on the life of the Episcopal Church and what it means to be a dean in the Episcopal Church. He was the dean of the church in the Cathedral in Chicago, and what it's like to be a dean in the UK too. So we're very fortunate to be here. Dominic, tell us some of what your first impressions of York Minster were. You know, when you became dean. I mean, you probably had been here before, but what was it like to arrive here knowing that you were going to be the dean?
Overwhelming, I think, is a simple answer. It's not only a vast cathedral, but it is a vast organisation. So we have about 200 staff backed up by about 400 volunteers. So the scale of operation is unlike anything that I or almost any member of the clergy have had any experience of working in and dealing with. So the learning curve was pretty enormous.
Well, you have a reputation in the United States as being such a strong administrator, and of all of us deans from the U.S., you were definitely the right choice to come here. I wonder if you can talk just about what your daily life is like here versus in Chicago.
Well, in a place like this, every day in some ways is very different. You never know quite what's going to happen and who's going to come through a place like this. But governance and oversight of the organisation is shot through the working week, coupled with concerns about philanthropy and finance. The stable points of the day, of course, are the daily office. I and the other 4 resident clergy are in the Minster at 7:30 each morning saying our prayers, and our working day finishes with the absolute joy of choral evensong, which is sung 6 times a week during term. And so when that finishes at about 6:15 in the evening, then we usually get to go home. But what happens in between will be a variety of different kinds of management meetings, planning of events, making sure that we are exercising proper fiduciary responsibility and architectural responsibility for this world-famous iconic building. It's a busy old life.
It is, and like you said, when you walk in there, you get a sense of the continuity, the history, and just the beauty of the place. I mean, to be there last night as the light was coming in through the high windows of the tower at sunset, I mean, it's a stunning place. Maybe you can talk a little bit about, I mean, you've been away from the Church of England for a while. You know, what did it feel like leaving the American Episcopal Church and coming back here and being part of the Church of England again?
It's been fascinating having had the experience of working in 2 such different expressions of Anglicanism. And both the Church of England and the Episcopal Church have great strengths, and they both have their weaknesses, and they present very different missional opportunities. The established nature of the Church of England makes it easier for us to tie into various sectors of the community. We have big relationships with a lot of schools, for instance. The separation of church and state in the United States makes mission a different kind of expression for the Episcopal Church. The Episcopal Church has great strengths when it comes to things like continuing education of Christians, both adults as well as children. Formation is a weakness, I think, in the Church of England. The sense of philanthropy that exists in the Episcopal Church would be a blessing for the Church of England. So there are strengths and weaknesses that are just culturally very different on either side of the Atlantic.
Yeah, what was the biggest adjustment that you had to make in terms of just how you present yourself here in York versus what it was like in Chicago?
I guess here, and particularly in a job like this, I have far more stakeholders who are interested in my institution than would have been the case, I think, at any cathedral in the United States. So there are many people in York who never go to church in a sort of Sunday by Sunday way, but for whom York Minster is part of their life in one sense or another. And having to respect and honour that stretches your understanding of what the job is about in a way that is absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, I love the way that it's the church for everyone, not just the church
Absolutely.
for people who come on a daily basis. You see a lot of tourists. What does the church have to offer for the tourists who come in through the doors? I mean, there's obviously the experience of this beautiful building, but what else is here for them?
Well, I think the real answer to that surely is that every tourist, and we get about 600,000 paying visitors through the doors in a typical year. Every tourist is a potential pilgrim. And I hope that whatever the motive that gets them in the doors of the building, by the time they go back out, I hope they've been changed. And a few years ago, we had some qualitative market research which showed that something like 70% of people that came to the Minster, not for an overtly religious reason, were touched by their experience of the building.
Yeah.
So mission is everywhere, the opportunity is everywhere, and we have to make it as alive as possible.
Yeah, no, I'm so grateful to you. You're such a good steward of this place, and what a blessing it is to be your guest here. We're very glad to see you and to see you thriving, your family and everybody thriving here at York Minster.
Well, thank you. It's lovely to be able to welcome you here. We are looking forward to you preaching shortly.
Yes. So we're here with Dominic Barrington, the Dean of York Minster, and my name is Malcolm Clemens Young. I'm the Dean of Grace Cathedral in San Francisco, California. Thanks for watching. More good news.